When is a gotcha game not a gotcha game? How about when it's called Duet Night Abyss? My friends, we just finished watching the live stream, and I am incredibly excited and very impressed with the direction that this game has taken. I've been watching it for a while now, and the community is super excited for it, and I cannot wait for it to launch on October 28th. And we're going to cover everything from the live stream today. We're going to summarize it so that way if you don't have time to watch the full thing, you can come here and you can jump around the timestamps. A lot to get into, so let's dive in and you can find out why I am so excited for Duet Night Abyss. The stream opened with a cute little live presentation thing. Someone was dressed as one of the characters and they talk about, some of the improvements they've been making to the game. This section I'm going to just kind of breeze by because it was really just more of an intro and introducing some people like the composers, etc. So the first thing I really want to show is how they changed the environments and made them look better. And I'll pop over to where they actually jump into the screen a bit more and just look how pretty this game has become. They've increased things like the lighting, they've added snow effects, they've really polished it out, which is very common for games as it nears release. And then there tends to be more graphical changes later. We'll see this more as they do some demonstrations in the game here in just a moment. But a game is really looking to be quite beautiful. So then we go in and they kind of, do some introductory stuff. I'm not going to show that. But go into the stream and somewhere around this mark here, look at how gorgeous this promo, music trailer is. I'm afraid to share too much of the music because I don't want to get a copyright strike, but it was absolutely beautiful. And then we get into, some more of the in-game engine stuff here. And just the vibe of this is really kind of peak, honestly, for a gacha game. And there's great movement, there's great cinematography in here for what we're looking at. And when you compare this to a lot of other games on the market, it's definitely a step up and a step in the right direction, from my opinion. So it looks amazing, sounds amazing. The melodies that you hear in this song are just beautiful. Go check it out. You owe yourself that. It is incredible to just sit back and experience this on its own. Then we move into more of the actual game itself, what they're doing. So again, they talk about the graphical updates here. And these environments are just beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I love how they change the lighting. I love how, the characters have some movement on their clothes, the grass sways a little bit. They're little things, but those little things bring a lot to love in an environment and make you feel more connected to it from my experiences in playing games since, hell, Donkey Kong, back on the original arcade in the 80s. I'm that old. So we'll keep going forward here. I don't want to spoil story stuff, but you're free to watch that whole trailer. And, I'm just going to show a couple of the other environments as we go through, just so you can see the differences in landscapes. And really, honestly, just beautiful, beautiful scenery. Going forward, I will say that they have a couple codes in here. Check out my Twitter. My Twitter has the codes posted, so you can see them right from there. And then we're going to get the first 4 parts of the story, which is going to be the prologue, chapters 1, 2, and 3. Also, I don't know if you caught that really quick, but the game developer producer, he is Deca Bear. I'm 16-bit Bear. This was fated. I had to cover this game because clearly we're just a couple of bears hanging out. They get into a lot of information around the new characters. These are the first ones that have kind of their own focus. It's hard for me to say limited banner, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But they've talked a bit about how they play. So this one is more of a ranged character. She can fly up. Her name's Psyche. And when she flies up, she has kind of a lock-on, I don't know if lock-on's the right word, but she'll start shooting out her abilities, and then she can launch missiles from the air. And then she specializes in things like pole arms. Yeah, so here you go. She's going to start flying around. So really cool looking character. She's one of the first, I'm not sure what the ratings are in these characters yet, but I'm going to call it a 5-star or the first limited character or whatever they're going to call these terms. We'll find out here shortly in just a couple of days. So she's looking really cool. And then they get into really the first meaty thing, which is how do you grind out characters' and weapons? For those of you that don't know, part of why I am so interested in this game is I've never seen a developer who has taken so much interest in not just listening to feedback from the community, but actually implementing it. And how can I say that with such a surety? It's simple. They heard that we didn't want gacha banners. We didn't want to have 50/50s or hit 100 pulls, all the things that are standard for gacha games these days. And we didn't want that for weapon banners. So they completely removed the gacha system. There is no gacha system in terms of characters and weapons in this game at all. at all. So you can get and grind for absolutely every single character, every single weapon, and they remove the stamina cap. So you're not even gated to, oh, I can only run stage 12 4 times in a day, but then I can't get the gear, but then I can't get the level up materials, but then I can't get the breakthrough materials, but then I can't get the blah, 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 that all the gacha games these days have done, and we've gotten so used to over the years. You can stamina, or not stamina, but you can grind out all day to your heart's content. If you got nothing to do on a Sunday afternoon, grind it away. And there's even, I'll show you, there's some auto battle places that you can grind away. So to get the characters, to get the weapons, there's a couple of different systems. The first is you're going to get a limited, and actually I'll just let this play out as we talk. The first is like a limited 28-day, I guess, set of events, okay? So a new character banner will last for 28 days. During that time frame, you will have, events where you grind out or beat challenges to get these, tickets essentially. And then when you have enough, you get the character. So by playing the game in its natural state, just enjoying the content, you will amass enough things to unlock the character, to unlock the weapons. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, what happens if I don't play that month? Or maybe I came in and there was a week left, I just didn't have time to grind that out. Perfectly fine. The game has different dungeon systems, and all the characters are in those dungeon systems, and you get these little notes, I forget exactly what they call them, but just think of them as an item. And as you amass enough of these items, you convert those into the characters that you want. So no matter what, there will always be a way, either via an event or via dungeons, to go through and grind out and get the characters and weapons. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I will miss this character permanently. So you get to play the bosses and things like that. And let me see if I can find it. They also shared a little scene of the... Oh, actually, they're talking about the grind right here. So they have this. These are the dungeons. So a lot of people might think, oh, I just, if it's going to be a big grind, I don't really have time and I don't know what to do about that. And so it's pretty cool. I'm going to pause it here. A couple things. One, it's got multiplayer. So first of all, I've already talked to some creator friends. We are going to find a way to multi-stream and play this together for your enjoyment. It should be fun as we, interact with each other via our own channels, but while playing together. And two, I'm already thinking of ways of, how do I do this with, people that visit my channel? If you're playing this game and you're part of my community, we're on Discord together, why don't we play together? I'm not sure exactly how many characters can play at once. I see 4 right here, so it might just be 4. There's 3, and then of course the character themselves. So I want to get in here and play with people. But if you don't have friends or you don't have time to group up with friends, then you can also play this with the AI. And what they're demonstrating here is in these boss dungeons or whatever their final names are called, you can see the AI is actually doing the work, and they're demonstrating the player character hanging back, cooking, sleeping. This reminds me of Monster Hunter. And so you can grind these out in an AFK fashion to some extent. And I can already envision myself, I'm going to be guilty of this. I work all day. I know a lot of you work all day. I might just have this on my phone on the side, grinding dungeons, getting materials, and letting this AFK a little bit to get materials, because there's no stamina system. I can do that. And so even if you're a busy person, you got work, you got school, you got kids, you got, whatever your life may hold, you can go through and still make progression and not worry about the world leaving you behind because you can't spend 20 hours a day in a video game. So have fun with it. I could even see myself, making thumbnails and creating content while this is on the side, autoing. I love when there's some of that. Obviously, you're not going to auto the story and stuff, but this was a great feature to see, the multiplayer, the AI, and the ability to grind and get all the characters and get all the weapons and not have to worry, did I miss this banner or whatever? And so that's going to lead us into a really big question, and that is, well, if they don't have character banners that you're going to buy into, how are we going to monetize this game? How is this game going to be here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now, because it needs money to be successful? We know every game needs money to be successful. And so what they have shown is special skins. And again, I'm still learning all of the names, but you're going to see that there's an hourglass as rewards in a lot of different places. And those hourglasses are the pull system strictly for cosmetics. And the cosmetics are very interesting because It's not just a simple skin. It's a very elegant looking skin. I showed it here just a moment ago. Here it goes. And the skins, you can customize accessories. You can customize the colors. Look at how pretty that is, by the way, that shine. You can customize effects from the weapons, like the colors of the weapon trails, all sorts of little things. And so you really get to take your character from the, normal skin that we're all going to get for unlocking the character and really tune it to your preference based on these really beautiful skins. They get extra what they call postures, which are, is your character hanging around doing push-ups or what kind of cool thing they're doing. And you see the different color dye system here. So the way they're going to monetize is through cosmetics. I love that. I favor that in these systems. I think it's the right way to go because it allows everyone who plays the game the chance to actually play the game with the characters and the weapons and the intent that the developers have. But then it also lets people like myself who want to support the game or support the developers have ways to do so that doesn't make it feel like we're in a league above people. I can tell you as a content creator, I get comments all the time of, oh, you just get this, this, and this because you're a creator and you spend money. Yeah, absolutely. But in a game that's like this, I don't have to have that conversation anymore. It's, yeah, if you want to tell me that I bought a skin, who cares? Like, we're still playing the same game with the same characters. So I like that they do it. You get the postures, everything else. And the game does have your typical leveling materials, all the different things that you're going to have in a gacha game because they have to, have you do something in the game. So, growing your characters, whatever else. And I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't necessarily see it. They didn't call to this, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of battle passes or, some monetization that allows you to get those materials. Now you still can grind them out. You don't have to do something like that. And then, this is cool too. They also have holiday skins. This is going to be $1. US, I'm in the US. It's $1 in the US. I'm going to buy it because I absolutely love Christmas. If you want to be on my good side and be a bear stan, anything Christmas related is my jam. So I am going to get these outfits. They're super cute. I wish I kind of had that sweater in real life. And, it's $1. Will I throw $1 at the devs for a Christmas skin? Absolutely. Absolutely I will. And what's also cool is these are not going to disappear after the holiday season that they're promoting is over. They're going to live in the shop permanently. You can get them later. They'll have special deals and discounts and things like that during the right seasons. So this is the monetization. I'm a big fan of it. Again, I want them to make money because I want them to be successful, and I will support them in buying some skins. Not an issue with that at all for me. As we move forward, they do have a beautiful anime kind of character trailer for the first limited or again, whatever you want to call it, for the 28-day event. Really good stuff. I don't want to spoil it, so go take a look at it online. They previewed some more music. The music is phenomenal in this game. Again, we're just going to breeze by some of this. Here is, oops. Oh, I was too fast. Again, I have the codes on my Twitter to make life easier for you, but we're about to see our first limited characters, or not limited, but these are the first characters that you can farm out through gameplay. This is like your starting roster, if you want to call it that. And I'll tell you right now, I think Rebecca's looking pretty cool. She's got a cool aesthetic. And then they had some other characters. I'm not sure if they're also going to be around right away, but there's a couple other ones that look really neat. So then we move forward. Let's see. They just kind of show some previews of these characters. Again, really neat looking. And they start showing things like events. So these hourglasses, by the way, over here on the side of the screen, those are the currency for pulling the, gacha mechanic of the cosmetics. So if you're wondering what those are, the rest of these I think are just, it looks like maybe that like roast thing that they were doing, like the Monster Hunter one. I'm not sure what these all are. We'll have to find out in game. I'm sure other people do, because there's a lot of people that have been testing this game. I'm not a tester, unfortunately. So I've got to learn everything with you as we go, but I still intend to make content for it. In here, they just talk about a lot of the different events. There's a lot of events at the start of the game. And these, of course, are going to get you leveling materials or whatever these materials do for your characters, breakthroughs, weapons. I'm sure it's all the different systems that you're accustomed to in gacha games. But they have a just plethora of launch events and launch programs. So look forward to a lot of content on day one in the a couple weeks to follow. And then let's see, they talk about some more of the improvements on the graphics engine and the travel. So check this out. There was, complaints or criticisms on the travel in the game feeling fast, but also slow. The second you touch the ground, you would start going too slow. And so they cover this here, and you're going to see that they added sprinting and they added like grappling hook to get through the environment faster. So we'll let this play out for a second because they're going to show like, look at how much they improved the scene details. The shadowing makes such a huge difference, as does the ambiance of that snow there. But give it just a second. They'll show the sprinting and the grappling hook. Here we go. So now traversal in these larger environments is going to be smoother and faster, of course. And I don't know, it just looks cool. I like stuff like that. I'm a sucker for it. So that is, you know, kind of the optimizations they showed there, but they also talk about like frame pacing, frame rates. So you can see just how much they've increased the FPS. They've added things like the DLSS. And I mean, if you're running on a PC, that's going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be better optimized for newer phones as well. But, you know, a PC is going to probably perform a lot better than a phone does. But it's nice to see that you've got this much smoother gameplay from the graphics optimizations. They've really put a lot into this. Certainly happy for that. And then, of course, you know, you get all sorts of rewards and stuff. So was that 50, or like, I don't know what the difference is between, it's like a premium and a non-premium. I'm not sure what that'll pull for, but you get a lot of starting cosmetic currency, as they're calling it. And then they just kind of talked about a couple other, you know, updates and things. And then they preview a new section of characters and environments. And this is for the 1.1 update. So it's a little bit of a teaser. They don't show all of it, of course. You know, they're going to save stuff for, I'm sure, future live streams or, you know, things to get you hyped to keep coming back to the game. But it is our first look officially at the new 1.1 update. So it's a new area, really has this, you know, beautiful look to it. And actually, I think there was a little bit more back that I passed. Yeah, so we'll go back here. And then, you know, you can see some new, I love this environment. This environment is so cool looking to me. So we're already getting previews into 1.1. Obviously, they've probably got, you know, numerous content updates already planned out, and they're just putting polish on and giving us time to get the stories. So a lot of cool things there. Global pre-download is, heck, right around the corner, actually. October 26th, 10 a.m. It says UTC -8, I think. I'm not going to convert time zones for you. Ask my community. I don't know what hour it is in my time zone, let alone someone else's. And then the game will go live, of course, on the 28th. Somewhere near they give the exact time, but just keep an eye. Up there it is. So keep an eye on their Twitter. I'm sure there'll be links to timers. There'll be timers everywhere. I'm probably not the best for that, but it's coming out very soon. And, you know, you have to check for your own time zones. I'm not sure where you're watching this from. And that's really kind of all the big stuff. The rest of this, they have previews for voice actors, and there is voice acting in multiple language, including English language. So if you go to the end of the stream, you can hear a lot of characters. I have quite a few here, and their voice acting. And I'm going to tell you, it's great. It really is. None of it sounded cheesy to me or anything like that. So go take a listen if you want to preview. Otherwise, experience it in game if that's your language of choice. But overall, my friends, this game is shaping up to be something really impressive. I'm looking forward to it. The gameplay looks good. If you don't know about the gameplay, a lot of people are calling it like an anime Warframe. They removed the banner systems. They removed the gacha. They removed monetization that drives people crazy. There's no 50-50s to worry about in terms of pulling characters and weapons. They removed the stamina. Play the game as much as you want. You can auto-farm certain elements of it, not all of it. And you can just have fun and not worry about, did so-and-so pull character X and I didn't get them, and so now I'm behind, blah, 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 blah. Those are not going to be an issue in this game. So look forward to me playing this game on the channel. We'll see what kind of content I create. Let me know how much content you want in this game. I'm looking forward to it. And until our next video or live stream, my friends, please take care of yourselves.